recent updates to the FTC.com disclosures, as well as I'm going to tie that back into the 2010 endorsement guides, because they do need to be put together at the same time. They're not two separate issues. They kind of flow with each other. So one of the first questions, and it's always a big question, is do you have to put the hashtag ad on every sponsored tweet?
Yes, I'd wondered about that. I see it sometimes. I don't see it other times. I'd heard yes. Is that true?
It is. Well, not necessarily the hashtag part of it. And I try to encourage people not necessarily to use the hashtag because it's not part of the FTC guides or something like that, and the hashtag is really making something searchable. So when you use the hashtag GenFab, the reason is people are following GenFab. Well, no one ever follows hashtag ad. And it also takes up that additional character space that you don't really need. But if it's a sponsor tweet, if you are tweeting because you have to, because you have some type of a business relationship with a brand, or even if it's a blogger network like Boombox and you're not working directly with the brand per se, but you're working with the blogger network and you are involved, whether most likely a contractual obligation to do a product review or be involved in some way, you should precede it with the ad, usually the ad, AD, capital A, capital D, colon, and then just go on with what you're doing, mainly to give the people who are reading it a sense that there is a business relationship to your tweet. And the only reason not necessarily the only reason, but one of the reasons you're doing it is because you do have this obligation, this business obligation. And the phrase that the FTC uses is material connection or material relationship. Mm-hmm. And we don't really, when we think of material relationship within the law, usually it's some type of contractual obligation. But with the blogging community, contractual obligation may mean an email where you've been asked to do something and you said yes, and they are now, you've now established somewhat of a contractual obligation with a basic email. Whether they send you a free, usually they send you a free product type of thing. Now, recently, a lot of PR people have been sending out their press releases and saying, would you share this? And I would say that isn't something that should be preceded with an ad. If you wanted to share the opening of a new restaurant or the opening of a new museum, whatever it is. Those I don't think necessarily need to have the hashtag ad or the ad colon in it. But if there's going to be more of a relationship with the company or the organization, so if it's a new museum exhibit and you will be going to the opening as press or a blogger event, then include the ad.
And it must come first. That's a question that we're getting from our watchers right now. Ad colon must be at the start, or can it be anywhere?
It should be at the start, and that's where the endorsement guides kind of interplay with the new .com disclosures. Is in the endorsement guides that came out in 2010, became effective in 2010, there was no clear indication that your disclosure should be before. We as bloggers weren't exactly sure that we wanted to put that up front and tell our readers, we're getting paid or, I'm getting something free, because we kind of had this belief that maybe we shouldn't be doing that, or our readers will think less of us. But in fact, the FTC says, tell them up front. And I think that we've seen over the last 6 months to a year, as people have moved disclosures around or became more seamless with their disclosures, that readers haven't fallen off. And so when I say yes, your disclosure has to be before, it doesn't have to be all legally and stilted even.
It can be conversational?
It can be. It can be simply, I was invited to be part of the press at this new exhibit, or, I was at a blogger dinner at such and such a new restaurant. And it's just a little bit more conversational.
Sarah, there's companies that appear to be having an issue when using ad, that they don't want it to be so obvious. What's your advice for bloggers to deal with companies that are having issues with the new FTC guidelines?
Just keep at it, really. I have that issue. I work with a number of, top tier bloggers in negotiating contracts with their for ambassadorships and various things like that. And some of the larger PR companies do have legal departments that will get involved and are better able to craft these agreements. But I'm finding that not all of them are. And so I think when you're dealing with very large sums of money in the tens of thousands of dollars for a program that you're going to pay one blogger, they do spend the time and the money to get their legal team involved. But for the most part, they don't. And if you ever get something from a PR company or a brand itself that says, no disclosure is required, I would definitely let them know disclosure will be made. And, if they don't like it, then I'd walk away from that relationship. And because for them, they actually should, they should appreciate that you would want to put disclosure. But if they don't know about it, and I'm finding a lot of people don't know, a lot of the PR people don't know about it. They just know that disclosure has to be made, but they don't know anything else about it.
Sarah,
go ahead.
We have a question from our watchers. Someone asks very specifically, if I receive a product unasked for, like a book or a musical recording, you didn't ask for it, but she likes it and she wants to share it or promote it on social media, is she required to disclose ad?
No, because there is no relationship. And more and more we are finding that bloggers are getting, unsolicited packages being sent to them because they have, over time, made these relationships with PR people and their name and address is in a database, and you are finding more and more of that. And if you haven't requested it, you have no relationship and no business obligation, then you don't need to disclose it. What I do like to say is, because there are plenty of cynical people out there, that somewhere in your post that you should indicate that it was like magically appeared.
To ask about something, I think bloggers have approached this as a threat, but really we're consumers before we're bloggers, right? And the point of these FTC guidelines is not to ruin the income or the livelihood of bloggers, but to protect all of us as consumers, right? Isn't that, and fraud is serious. When I buy something, I want to know it really is what it is. So isn't that really the purpose of these laws, is not to ruin our livelihood, but to protect us as consumers?
It really is. I think that was the biggest problem with the 2010 endorsement guides, is that we as bloggers saw this as a threat, that, why do we have to do it? But the fact is that, anyone who's had a material relationship with a brand had to do this. And we unfortunately don't see it a lot, as much with celebrities as we should. They get a big pass on it. Because we generally believe that celebrities would never talk about anything that they didn't get for free or are being paid to talk about. And, we believe that, if we see a celebrity with a soda in their hand, then most likely they were paid by that brand to hold that soda, or they're paid to be seen at restaurants and stuff like that. But as bloggers, we're not. And our websites often are nicer than brand websites, especially some smaller companies. And we are, very open about our lives and our experiences. And the consuming public often comes to us for, their information. And the idea that we are sharing information that could, cause harm to the consumer is something that we as bloggers really, it actually scares us, because that's not our intention. And our intention is actually to share helpful and useful and positive information.
Right. And I might know, if I go to your website and I read something, I might understand, oh, you received probably that product. But the consuming public, just a woman who's looking for mascara online, might not realize that that person was given mascara or was paid to say that that mascara was great, right? They're going to think, wow, that might be some great mascara.
Exactly. And it's an issue that a lot of peer review bloggers have, is that in post after post after post, it's always something very positive, and they don't, talk both sides of the pros and the cons of the product or things like that. And people start to wonder, are you just saying this because you got it free?
Right. But don't you think it's hard, though? It's hard, though, because bloggers sort of are under pressure to say positive things to work up the blogger food chain. And if you say something negative about a product, your readers might like that, but the PR person who works with other brands you want to work with might not appreciate that you said that their product wasn't great. So how do bloggers sort of balance that, do you think? I mean, that might be a whole different topic. I don't know. That might be really off topic, but it's a problem, I think.
Well, no, I think that, it does play into the endorsement issue. And if you are going to endorse a product, I mean, you have to be honest about it. And reputationally, that's something completely different. But if you're going to give your recommendation and you're going to endorse a product and not be honest about it, you run a risk, because you're creating this pool of information for a brand that then they can rely upon, and consumers will rely upon.
Right.
And while the FTC is not going to come after you for,
I think that's a whole different. I think that's a whole different hangout. I think that's bloggers. I think that's bloggers with integrity. So, but just to go back to the ad, I'm just. It seems like it's pretty easy to do it on Twitter, but it seems like there's an issue for people to actually put ad on their Facebook posts and Pinterest. And what are your thoughts about the other social media sites, even LinkedIn?
I actually think it should be easier on Facebook and Pinterest and LinkedIn than Twitter, because they're not, space constrained, and you're not just, you need to get the most amount of info, and you're dealing with URLs that are going to truncate and various things like that. And you can actually do it much more seamlessly and conversationally on Facebook and Pinterest and LinkedIn and Instagram. That
can you give us an example? How would you suggest that we do that?
Well, I just did a product review for a food company, and on my Facebook today, even, I just specifically said, I told this very strange story as to why I did it. But I indicated before my link, that the company gave me coupons so I can get 3 free products. That's my disclosure. I didn't need anything fancy. I didn't need to put ad or sponsored or anything like that. But before somebody would click, they would know that I was somehow in a relationship, in a business relationship with this organization. And even then they click over to my site, and then on my site, it's not at the top actually, but you read through it, and before you get to any information that's clickable, I've told you that this is a business relationship that I have. And I think that on these sites, it's like LinkedIn especially, it's very simple to do. I mean, there are some space constraints with LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, I think, is even more focused, the FTC should be is likely more focused on there, because these are business people, and the business to business thing, and the fact that if you work for a company, have worked for a company, you consult for a company, there's a lot more disclosure that actually is probably necessary on LinkedIn posts than people are providing, and especially from the consultancy aspect of it. And Pinterest is just a hot mess when it comes to. I'm sorry. I mean, honestly, it really is, because on any given day and any given hour, you can pull up your Pinterest and you can look at something, an outfit especially, and find, because we know that if you hover over it and you see the elongated URL, you'll see someone's affiliate code for Zulily, for Totsie, for Groupon, for any of these affiliate networks that permit you to post directly into.
I never even thought of that.
I didn't either. I never thought of that.
I guess it depends on your browser. I have my browser set up so that when I hover over a link on the bottom, it pulls up the entire link so I can see.
No, it just never occurred to me to look, and it's mostly just cat pictures anyway. So,
and it never occurred to me to do that, actually. I hadn't even thought of it.
So, Sarah, what is the proper way to be in compliance on Pinterest?
Well, I think the proper way is for brands to actually build it into their platforms. If you are a brand that will allow you to pin something directly from their site, for which you are an affiliate, and it's going to pop in your affiliate link, then it should be in that pin, because the brand is ultimately on the hook. But because they're not doing it, we're the ones that have to do it, and I think you should just put in there that this is an affiliate, because you have to put the description. But if it is something that you're pinning because they will then click on it and you get the affiliate link juice, because it'll drop your affiliate cookie, or it's going to give you a new lead that you get money for signing somebody new up, then it should just be, this is an affiliate, an affiliate link. And I mean, personally, I'd like to see Pinterest, redesign and include that as an option, and then build it into their platform, because they're not supposedly they strip out affiliate links, and they don't. Not on. I mean,
so Sarah, now that we've mentioned about affiliate links, all us bloggers, we will connect with our Amazon affiliate, and we will put a book. That I recently did a book review, and of course I put it in through our, you can get it through Amazon, and it connected our affiliate link to that. Do bloggers need to disclose that?
You do, and it actually ties into if you have a plugin or something that will automatically link certain keywords. So like the Ninja plugin is one of them I know of. So you type in your keywords. So anytime you mention the word Amazon, it will automatically link to your Amazon affiliate. Or if you type in KitchenAid because you're a food blogger, and every time you mention the phrase KitchenAid, it will link to the KitchenAid page on Amazon. That is something that should be disclosed, and because it's so seamless.
On the article, or just on the blog? Like, do you have to post it on every single article?
If there is an affiliate link, technically, per the FTC, it needs to be disclosed before the link. Although I do think, and this is just my opinion, and I've seen it done very, very well, that if you are specifically linking to an affiliate, and you're writing about it, and you're talking about a book, or you're talking about a conference, and you're an affiliate for the conference, or if you are an affiliate for a tutorial company, anything like that, that when you put the link, I think that putting the word affiliate in parentheses after it is easier for the eye, because your eye is going to move faster than your click. So you're reading along, and this is just my opinion, and I mean, I doubt the FTC is going to be like, well, you didn't disclose before, and say, and slam somebody for this, because the disclosure is there.
Mm-hmm.
And as your eye moves across the page, and you read, I've read, this is a fantastic book, my daughter loved Kingdom Keepers, I think yours will too, at Kingdom Keepers, and then affiliate, yours will too. You've actually just read this whole thing, and then you're going back to link. Very few people are reading through and stopping specifically at a link.
They're finishing the sentence or the paragraph.
Exactly. And that's where I think that that having the disclosure at the bottom is fantastic. You don't have to have the top disclosure and the bottom disclosure, but the fact is if you have a very long article, people may have forgotten. And I usually put the disclosure at the top and the bottom, and I have a different disclosure for each of them.
So just to be clear, so you would put the name of the book or the name of the product on Amazon and just in parentheses affiliate right after the link. All right, that seems simple.
Yeah, because it's right there. It used to be, and in your info when you type your link box, you can type in what's going to show up if you hover over the link, and sometimes people do it, sometimes they don't, and they'll indicate on the hover text that it's an affiliate link, but because not everything hovers,
mobile,
especially on mobile technology, then the hover and the pop-ups are not the best option.
Right. Well, the rulings, there's been some confusion, and I think I know why when I read the report, that it's not necessarily putting it at the top of the post is not what I read it to say, but that it's close to proximity to where the click is. And I've heard, oh, you have to put it at the top, but someone could come into your article sort of at any place. And so what it actually says is that's kind of a misunderstanding. Do you want to talk about that? Where that I read it to say the disclosure needs to be as close to the link or the click as possible, right?
Right. And I think that the doesn't need to be at the top thing, that's fantastic when the entire post is sponsored. And if if it's a paid relationship for that post in itself. The affiliate issue, or where you're talking about a number of things, but you have a relationship with a company. So if you're talking about, what you did over Memorial Day weekend, and you have pictures, and you're talking about everyone loved your new patio furniture because, and you have a relationship with Pier 1, and your link is to Pier 1 to your patio furniture that you purchased, even though you're not getting an affiliate click off of that or anything, but the fact that you have a relationship with this outdoor furniture company, then it should be disclosed likely that's where having a seamless explanation and disclosure is better than just throwing it at the top. Disclosure, there may be affiliate links in here, or disclosure, I worked with Pier 1. That doesn't mean anything. And you're exactly right in saying that it's the proximity, and it's how meaningful is the disclosure to the consumer. Do they understand?
Sarah, we have a good question from our audience right now, and they want to know do they have to go back through their historic posts and update disclosures on anything with affiliate links?
I think that if it's evergreen content, then you should go back. Obviously, if it was for review bloggers, I think that it's a really big challenge to go back and put this disclosure on all of them. I do think that there are ways to do it that's relatively easy. To have something there, but if it's true evergreen content, and if it's one of your top 15 posts, then you I think you really should go back, only because you're continuously getting new traffic on it, and
it should be in compliance.
It should be. I mean, obviously, if you're not getting a lot of traffic on it, then it's not worth your time. It's not worth their time. If you have a long-term relationship, if you're a brand ambassador, and this is you're finishing off your 6 months, you're moving on to a new 6-month contract, I would go back to those handful of posts and just add that information in there. You need to disclose if you have paid links in an article. Absolutely. That's that could be an entire hangout by itself on whether or not you should have paid links. But paid links, for those who don't know, are when a company specifically pays you a set amount of money for certain anchor text. So a company is trying to get their sunglasses company some quality links, and you've got a PR 3, 4, 5 or more, and they're going to pay you X number of dollars so that you can go through and in a post just include a link to their site with best sunglasses ever, or fashionable sunglasses, whatever it is. So if you are paid for that, it needs to be disclosed, and it also should be a no-follow from a Google perspective, so that they aren't giving PR
passing the link juice
for that, and the link juice for it. And that's not a legal issue. The Google thing's not a legal issue, but from the legal standpoint, yes, if you have paid links, it should be disclosed that the post does have paid links. And again, we get with the proximity issue of disclosing close to it rather than just at the top, this post may have paid links. It either does or
yeah. You probably know, right?
We have a question for refinement on your previous statement.
Sure.
Someone would like for you to define evergreen. Is evergreen your top 10 posts, your top 15 posts, 20? Ballpark it for us. I know it's not written in stone.
I think it depends. It depends for each blogger what it is. If you're getting, a good amount of traffic from this content, and the thing is it may be seasonal, and that adds a little bit of a challenge to it, is that if you know if you know what your top posts are, and seasonally, if it comes back to the holiday time, you may need to disclose on certain of those posts, only because you know that October through December you're getting a lot of hits on those, or if it's Mother's Day, your top Mother's Day post. So it may not just be your top post, your top 10 posts of all time, but your top posts, seasonally, where you get a lot of your traffic from, especially if you're getting a lot of your affiliate traffic or your compensated traffic from those posts.
Okay, good. Thank you. Do we have other Facebook questions? Questions from Facebook? Yeah. Is a review a sponsored post if you received product? I think we briefly discussed that. No, a review should not be paid.
Yeah.
That's earned media.
Right. So a review is something that you write when you receive something for free. A sponsored post is when you are paid to write something specific. So, both require disclosure, but likely a different type of disclosure. When you do a giveaway where you have received free product to review and giveaway, does that also need a hashtag ad? So, disclosure on social media. If you are doing a giveaway and you're just giving away something, you didn't try it free, you're just being nice. First, we should talk to the GenFab and Boombox people about doing free work.
Yes. Thank you. We don't want to set a precedent there.
That's right. But if you're doing a product review And it's very, very common that they'll say, I'll give you one free to try, and then you can give one away to your readers. Some people do it in one post so that the disclosure kind of all goes in one, but some will do a review and then do a second post with the giveaway. And because they are related, there should be disclosure in there that you received one free. And when you push this to social media, if it links back to your blog, if you're just pushing your post, please enter my giveaway, and you're sending that out to social media, it's going to link back to your blog with the disclosure. If tweeting or putting something on Facebook, and tweeting is okay, but putting something on Facebook may be a violation of Facebook terms of service. But just sending something to Twitter that links to your blog would not require the ad disclosure. But if you talk about the review, I tried this, you should enter to win, then it should be. So
okay.
Yeah.
It's very nuanced, and you have to kind of think these, all these options through. Well, if I do this, if I do that, and it is really hard. I'm a lawyer, and even I have to sometimes stop and think, what this is.
So if you could just, in the nutshell, how should bloggers just kind of deal with the guidelines in a nutshell? Because we're probably have about 2 more minutes.
Okay, I think the first thing, we should go back to the very beginning and say, don't be afraid of them. These are actually for our protection, and if we embrace them, I actually think that we can raise the bar on what we do as bloggers. I think that we can help our readers better understand what they can expect from us, and that the disclosure can be seamless. The disclosure can be our own words. They don't have to be legalese. They don't have to be hidden. They shouldn't be hidden, and they should be in close relationship to where the click is, or where the first point of contact is for your reader. And so if your reader's coming in from your RSS feed or from a Facebook click or something like that, they'll get your disclosure on the blog. But when it does come to Facebook, where you're trying to get the click, you should have your disclosure. And again, you've got plenty of room to make it part of your post. And it makes it a challenge if you're automating your posts to put that in there. And that's usually where people have problems, is they're trying to automate their postings on social media, and you can't get it to look appropriate on all of the different social medias when you're relying on one particular application to feed all that information.
So it requires a little bit more work.
It does require a little bit more work, and I think that
you're getting paid for it anyway, so
you're getting paid for it, and I think
job.
that you can actually make more of it, because and actually get better clicks if you put it in your voice. Your readers read you, and your people follow you on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest because they like your voice and they like what you're sharing. So why not use it? And
Sarah, I'm going to we could do another hour of this, I feel. I think that this was a good, nice general overview, and I just really appreciate your knowledge and patience in getting this hangout started. I love the article that you did for the Social Media Examiner, and we're going to put a link to that on this video for people that they can go back to that. Plus, of course, your website and your Twitter handle.
Thank you, Audrey, for putting it together.
All right.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you.